because I just assumed that Richard would be delighted to see me, and I don't think he was particularly.
Shark is Broken. It really focuses in on one of the most famous elements behind the scenes of Jaws, which was the relationship of your father and Richard Dreyfuss. Did you meet Richard when you were on set as a 6-year-old? Did you even, as a child, I don't imagine you picked up on any tension that was there?
No, I didn't meet either of the other two, and not to my memory anyway. I met Richard later in life, so I didn't know that they had this difficulty until I was an adult. Yeah.
And so you found out when you met Richard that
no, I didn't even there. I mean, I found out after well, yes, I suppose I did. When I met Richard, I introduced myself as Robert's son, which I would never do, but I just felt in this circumstance it was okay, because I just assumed that Richard would be delighted to see me, and I don't think he was particularly.
Right.
I think that he hadn't processed at that point the a little bit of trauma that he had with Robert. I mean, I think he has now. It's interesting to see him in interviews talking about it now, and he seems to be quite sort of wise and at peace, and has sort of processed, the puzzle, because it wasn't all bad. It was mixed messages, and I think my father's intention, it's very hard to know. I think my father's intention was to kind of school him in how to be a man or a male actor, and possibly also to get a good performance out of him. But I think that was secondary. So complex relationship the two of them had, I think. I have huge, sorry, just for what I had this, I have huge admiration for Richard, by the way. I've always thought he is a wonderful actor. So that was another thing that made me slightly pause, before writing this. I mean, not least, I love Jaws, and I didn't want to write something that would, in any way cheapen that.
And did you think at the time I should contact Richard, or that would introduce a whole other realm of issues? Then you'd maybe end up having to run every aspect of a play through someone once you open those floodgates, as it were.
I think Joseph and me felt we wanted to have artistic freedom to, to explore the story. So, we didn't contact him, but I mean, I'm sure he would be far too busy to respond to us anyway.
And I do think, I think you're right. I watched an interview that he did. It was on an Irish chat show. I think it's on YouTube, where he talks at length about the relationship he had with your father on Jaws. And I think he seems almost regretful slightly that it went the way it did. And I mean, to use your phrase, he seems to be at peace with it.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, which is admirable as well, because it'd be very easy to, I think, to bear a grudge there.
And I think, if I'm right, and it's a moment that you've captured wonderfully in the play, but by all accounts, stories from the set of Jaws. And again, these are all stories. Some of them are hearsay. Some of them seem to carry more weight than others. That it really reached a pinnacle of difficulty when your father was asking for help aboard the Orca, and he was holding a drink in his hand, and Richard took the drink from him and dropped it over the side. And by all accounts, there was an audible gasp from the crew, who were just like, "Oh, you did not want to do that."
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yeah. And so we recreate something like that. Yeah, that's an incendiary moment.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine, you know, I enjoy a drink. And if I'm drinking and I've got a drink in my hand, you throw that drink over the side of a ship and it's a bit of a problem. A bit of a problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, my father was an alcoholic as well. So, I mean, I think that adds the extra element to it. You know, that was,
yes,
you know, and that's one of the themes that we obviously explore.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because obviously the play does touch on your father's drinking, and Richard Dreyfuss has documented drug use. Can you draw parallels between the kind of people they were at that point in their lives, or were their situations just completely polar opposites?
What, between Richard and Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're, I mean, I don't know about Richard so much, but I know that I think they're very different personalities, very different stages of their career, different kinds of actors. But I do think that Robert saw that Richard had a lot of potential and was a good actor. Otherwise, I don't think he would have spent so much time, you know, I don't think he would have bothered with him so much. So, yeah, I mean, I think I can't really draw too many parallels because I think the three of them, and that's Roy as well, which is why it's so crucial, why I found it so interesting, is that they are three very different people. You know, I think Robert was incredibly confident and fearless, and intellectual to some degree. They were all very intelligent, I would say that. But you know, and Richard was a bit more sort of neurotic to some degree, and sort of slightly self-obsessed. Certainly, that's what Robert felt. And Roy was, you know, to us, for as far as I can see, was the sort of steady hand, you know, the one who, out of the three of them, because Roy didn't have an easy childhood. Roy had a very difficult childhood, but he somehow managed to process all of that and come out the other end into this rather wonderful, you know, even-handed grown-up.
Hello, Alex here. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get in touch with us at all, for any reason, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at JTFpod. And don't forget to subscribe to the full audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods.